Welcome back. Didn't expect to be doing another news video this soon after the most recent one that I just did, but here we are. Now, the point of today's video is to correct some misinformation that's been floating around and help clarify a few things, with the hot topic being Baldur's Gate 3 and consoles. Let's jump right into it. So if you missed all the big recent news that we got thrown at us yesterday, I did do an entire summary video about all of that, and I'll leave a link below in the video description if you missed that. But the biggest news is that BG3 was announced to release for PlayStation 5 alongside PC, Mac, and GeForce Now, of course, on August 31st of this year. But because Xbox was not mentioned in the first wave of news from Larian Studios, all sorts of speculation started getting thrown around, with the main thing being that Larian may have an exclusive deal with Sony, which they actually don't, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. And you know, speculation can be fine in many cases as long as it's acknowledged as speculation, but unfortunately some news sites and individuals didn't really help out the case here, and misinformation of course spreads like wildfire. Some people started taking out their anger at Larian for being Sony shills, but fortunately for us, Larian has released a few statements that clarify a lot of this up, so it's going to answer a lot of questions that many of you may have. But before we get into the official statement, I want to pick on IGN because they're the big corporation of the industry. So IGN tweeted, for many of you guys watching this video, this would have been yesterday. They tweeted, in a statement to IGN, Larian Studios explained why Baldur's Gate 3 isn't coming to Xbox at launch. Now, Larian Studios never actually said that specifically in their statement to IGN, and it's kind of funny because if you scroll down, you can see the director of publishing at Larian Studios says the statement does not say that. It kind of gives me a little bit of a chuckle, even though this is a major headache for Larian Studios employees, but it's kind of funny. IGN tweets something out, and then the game studio's like, yeah, we didn't say that. But laughing aside, because misinformation is never a good thing, this statement is not only not true, but also, you know, people will read this statement, and the vast majority of them are not going to click on this actual link. They're just going to read this statement from a big corporation like IGN, and they're going to take it at face value and also assume things that are going to spread even more misinformation. Because if you read that Baldur's Gate 3 isn't coming to Xbox at launch, you're also going to assume that, you know, Larian has an exclusive deal with Sony. But let's jump into the article and read it ourselves. Now, the title of the article is Baldur's Gate 3 on Xbox Series X and S exists, announcement delayed due to technical issues. And there's nothing wrong with that title. That should have been the actual tweet right there, because announcement delayed is the key word here. So let's scroll down to the actual official statement, because we're not reading things from IGN anymore. Following yesterday's PS5 and release date announcement, we've clarified that right now we're planning to release Baldur's Gate 3 for PC, Mac, GeForce Now, and PS5. That said, we have no exclusivity for which platforms we can bring BG3 to or when, and we'll announce support for additional platforms if and when we're ready. We're seeing a lot of varied interpretations of what that means, so we wanted to clarify further. We've had an Xbox version of Baldur's Gate 3 in development for some time now. We've run into some technical issues in developing the Xbox port that have stopped us feeling 100% confident in announcing it until we're certain we found the right solutions. Specifically, we've been unable to get split-screen co-op to work to the same standard on both Xbox Series X and S, which is a requirement for us to ship. There's no platform exclusivity preventing us from releasing BG3 on Xbox day and date, should that be a technical possibility. If and when we do announce further platforms, we want to make sure each version lives up to our standards and expectations. Now, over on Reddit, and I'll leave a link to both of these articles below. Oh no, I ruined it. Over on Reddit, there we go. There's also an official statement which basically says the same thing, so I won't read it to you guys, but I will leave a link to this below in the description. And the owner of Larian Studios tweeted out, so the only reason we didn't announce an Xbox version is because we're not ready for it yet. It has nothing to do with exclusivity. And then the director of publishing also tweeted out, and believe me when I tell you this, the people working on this care. They're the best in class. They're solving unsolvable problems. I am in awe. I don't ask you to be in awe, but I do ask that you let them figure it all out in peace. Thank you for letting me know that the console audience cares about BG3. You care, we care. It's the start of a beautiful relationship. So from everything that we have seen from all this, and also from my own discussions with people at Larian, because I tried to touch up on some information sometimes when things are unclear, Larian really seems to want to release this game on as many platforms as technically possible. We just have to wait on the Xbox news. So don't believe the exclusivity rumors. Don't believe IGN when they say that it's not launching on Xbox, which could end up happening, but we don't know yet. It might actually launch on Xbox if technical difficulties are sorted out. And don't forget, most of us that played Divinity Original Sin 2 didn't even expect console releases until a later date, if at all. So it's pretty exciting that they are trying to do this the best that they can at the earliest time that they possibly can. Now, the IGN tweet, it's still up right now, and we're like, I don't know, 9 hours after the tweet now, and that's kind of crummy, unless they don't, I don't know. If I was them, I would definitely take that down, because your statement is just not true, because they did not say that it won't be launching on Xbox. I guess we'll find out. We'll see if they end up deleting it or not. And for the last part of this video, I just want to quickly clarify on a few things. The first thing being that if you have the game right now, if you bought it and maybe you're playing early access, or maybe you bought it just to pre-order it for whatever reason, you get a free upgrade to the digital deluxe edition. You don't have to pay that extra $10. You don't have to do anything. That upgrade's going to occur. Larian's going to take care of the technicalities behind that. You get that upgrade for free. So as long as you buy the game, I'm speaking to PC and Mac players, as long as you buy the game before it officially releases, you get that digital deluxe edition for $10 less. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work for PlayStation users, but I will clarify that in the future. And the last couple things, Half-Orcs, Dragonborn, and also the Monk class are currently missing in early access. Fairly certain that all of them will be in the game. Just remember that Larian is not giving us everything right now in early access. They want to save some things for official launch. Dragonborn's a great race to save, and Half-Orc are two great races to save for the official launch, to have a lot of us that have been playing early access be really hyped to start a new character. And also on this same topic, I don't know, some people just really don't understand what early access is, because I get comments all the time saying, after 2.5 years of early access, Larian has made no progress on the story. And I'm just thinking, we only have Act 1 in early access. Larian's not showing us Act 2 and 3, the story behind that, because they want to avoid spoilers, and they don't want all that information to be out here right now. Don't worry about the progress on the story. We're not going to see anything past Act 1 until the game's release. That's how it works. They don't want all that out there right now. So just because you don't see it doesn't mean that it's not being worked on behind the scenes, because trust me, it is. And the last topic, then I gotta go to bed because it's 2 in the morning right now, is the guy that you guys saw in that trailer. And I don't want to get too spoilery right now. I'm going to break down the trailer probably in a day or two. I'll have a video out. That guy, I'm not even going to say names, is not the main villain of Baldur's Gate 3. Some people keep saying the main villain has been spoiled. That is one of the antagonists, one of the several antagonists of the game that is kind of like the elite level of antagonists, with there being a boss or many bosses above them. Okay, I'm done.